Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. This is our project for today, this lovely little card using the new medium daisy punch and the Daisy Lane stamp set. Just a very simple little card. I've done it in Saffron and Smoky Slate on this version. We're going to change up the colours a little bit today and use the same colours but Petal Pink instead of the yellow, instead of the Saffron. So let me first of all show you what you need to make this card. It's a bit punch heavy. So you're going to need, now I actually used the layered circle dies on here, but I decided that you could do it with punches. And so I'm going to use the, is it Starburst or Sunburst? I can never remember. The Starburst and the 2-inch stamp punch that layers directly on there. Of course you'll also need the Daisy Lane, the new medium daisy punch, which is very cute. You'll need 1/2-inch circle punch, and then the stamp sets, of course you'll need Daisy Lane because we're going to use this stamp here. Then if you want this greeting, but of course you can add your own greeting, so you wouldn't necessarily need to do this. If you wanted just for you, it's from the Meant to Be set. And finally, and again you might have other stamps that you could use just to put a little decoration in the corner. I am using Daisy Delight, which is the old daisy set which went with the big daisy punch, and I'm just using those 3 little flowers there just to add to my corners. And then the last product that you'll need is the Eyelet lace embossing folder. I don't know how well you can see that on camera actually, but it's actually very nice. I quite like this folder. Can I get that in camera? Not sure how well you can see that, but you'll see it on the card. Anyway, so what are we going to do? We're going to start with a Smoky Slate card blank, which measures, if I've got my measurements here, 21 by 14.5 centimetres, or 8 1/4 by 5 3/4 centimetres. And I'm just going to grab my trimmer because I forgot to go. I always forget to get something out. There we go. Luckily everything's more or less to hand in my craft room, so I can grab things. And we're just going to score this either at 10.5 centimetres or at 4 1/8 inches. So whichever one you're working in. So just check you're using your scoring blade and not your cutting blade. Ask me how I know. There we go. And that's our card blank ready. So I'm just going to fold that and bring in my bone folder to give that a nice smooth crease. Okay, that's the front of our card. You then need 2 panels. One in whatever colour you're going for. I'm going with Petal Pink today. And one in Whisper White. And you can use the thin Whisper White. It doesn't need to be the thick stuff. It's just a layer, just a panel. And that's going to go there. I'm just going to use a little bit of Tombow. First of all, let me give you the measurements. Right, the white panel is either I'll do the coloured cardstock first. It's 5.5 by 3 7/8. or 13.5 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres. And then the white panel, I'm gonna have to let you know that difference. I think I changed it. I just made it 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch smaller than the coloured cardstock. All the measurements will be on my blog post later on. Sometimes when I'm working I change things up because I think it'll improve them, and then forget to update my notes, which is not great. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Tombow. So this is a brand new Tombow. Tombow is back in order if you've been waiting to order. It's been out of stock for ages, although I think it was back in stock. It might well be out of stock again now. Everybody ordered it because it came back in. But it is my favourite liquid glue. And as you can see, you can get very, very thin lines of it, which is great because you don't want loads of glue splodging out everywhere. So just line that up. The Tombow will give you a little bit of wiggle room until you get all the borders out absolutely equal all the way around. And then that is going to mount on here, like so. So again, with Tombow, you could use any adhesive to do this. You could use a tape runner like our snail or something like that. Or the only thing I'd say, I did have a lady that contacted me and said all her card was warping. And I think sometimes that's due because if you buy cheap PVA glue, it's very watery, and because card is porous, it soaks into the card. So the first thing I would say is try with some good quality glue that's not too watery. Obviously the Tombow is great, but they might have other makes that you can get in craft shops. I stick to Tombow because I just know it does the job and it sticks really well and never gives up its grip. Right, so there's our card blank ready. Now what we're going to do, across the middle here, we are going to put a little embossed panel. I've already embossed it. This is a piece of smoky slate again, and I've embossed it with the Eyelet lace embossing folder, which is a really lovely one. I just like embossing folders to be sort of quite subtle in the background, and that one is quite nice. I've made my strip. It's 3 centimeters wide, or 1 1/8 inches wide, and I've just made it slightly longer than the length of the card, because what I will do is trim that off to make sure that that is an absolutely clean edge there with no overlap and nothing stopping short of where it needed to be. So just a little bit of Tombow on here, and you're doing this before you put any of the daisies or anything onto the card. There we go. So that will go in the middle there, like so. And then if you just bring in your snips, you can use the side of the card to trim so that you get a really clean edge there, because otherwise sometimes it might overlap or it might not quite reach, and it just doesn't look very professional. So there we go. There we go. Right, next we're going to do a little bit of stamping. So we are going to put that to one side for the moment, and we are going to take a piece of Petal Pink, and we are going to stamp in Petal Pink 4 daisies, which we're then going to punch out. So 1, and I like this effect of stamping in the ink colour on the cardstock, because you just get a slightly darker shade, but it really coordinates really well. I'm going to do another one because I'd stamped that one off the edge there, so just for completeness I'm going to stamp another one. There we go. Right, and while I've got this out, actually I'm going to do my 3 little flowers in the corners, because then I don't need that ink anymore. So I've got the 3 little flowers mounted up on a block, so again with Petal Pink and just up in the corner here. Perfect. So nice when you use Stampin' Up stuff to know that if you use Petal Pink cardstock and then ink next to it, that it's going to match exactly. It's so wonderful, the coordination. There we go. Like there. Oh, this is turning out to be quite pretty. I'm quite liking this colour. Okay, I like the grey and the pink. It reminds me of the 70s. I had a bedroom that was grey and pink, I think. Right, there we go. Right, I've stamped the daisy, so let's bring in the daisy punch. And we're going to do what we normally do here, which is line up, grab, but don't cut, and punch. I'm not going to do that one, I'm going to do this one. Line up, grab, and punch. This one does make it so much easier working with punches. And this daisy seems to be almost symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way round you have the punch, which is great. And the last one, so much easier than getting the die cutting machine out. Although I love my dies and I would not be without it, I do love a card where you can just use punches and not have to worry about die cutting. Right, that's it. That's it for that. And then we just need to layer these on top of each other. Oh, a bit too much glue there. Need that much. There we go. So layer these. So the petals go, you need to move them round until the petals are sitting absolutely in between each other. And it's good that we're doing these first because they'll have a chance to dry, and then I'm going to fold the petals up a little bit so we can do them and put them to one side. We are then going to take a piece of white Whisper White cardstock and we're going to print our greeting, stamp our greeting in the original here. I'm going to do it in Smoky Slate. And we're going to do it over here. Sorry, keep having to remember that I need to stay in camera, in shot. There we go. There we are. And that's all we need a grey for, so we can put the grey stamp pad away. So come in with your 2-inch circle punch. Punch that out, trying to centre it nicely. And punch. And then come back with your Petal Pink. I'm hoping I've got enough left of this to punch out a Starburst. Like I said, I used the layering dies on the original card. It's up to you, whatever you'd like to use. I like this one because it can be used, it can be done with just punches, and there we are. So instead of that one, so it's slightly smaller, I don't think it's going to matter one little jot. So I'm going to stick those two together. Again, a little bit of Tombow. It's lovely having a new Tombow as well, because as they get older they get kind of harder to push. This one's brand new, so it's lovely to use. So just stick that on there. Again, trying to get all the border even, and the Tombow will give you a bit of wiggle room, and then that's going to go on there like so. There we go. And then all that remains to do, we can now go back to our daisies. Oh, that one's moved. Let's wiggle it round. Wasn't quite centered. Oh, that's better. This one all right? This one is all right. So they're going to go there and there, but just before you glue them down, just take your bone folder and just curl up the petals a little bit. Just gives your card a little bit of dimension. So that's going to go there. Let's just do the other one. And then all that's left to do is do the centres of the flowers. I'm just going to stick these on here, and that one is going down here, and this one is going up here, and then I'm just going to cut out some centres with our 1/2 inch circle punch. Tiny little punch, this one, but great. So one, and this is our white glimmer paper. No idea where that one went. Let's try again. There we are. There's one. Oh, there it is. There we go. And just a little bit of Tombow. And of course, if you wanted to make your card even more special, you could decorate the inside of your card and the envelope of the card that you're sending it in. It just makes it all that much more special. So there we are. As I said, if you don't have the meant to be set, you could use another, you could do happy birthday or whatever you wanted the card to say. So there's my 2 cards. Hope you like them. Hope you like my design. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon. Don't forget, if you want to buy anything that I've used today, it's all available in my online shop. So just go below the video and there's a link through to the blog post that features this card, and then you'll be able to click through to, from the blog post, you'll be able to click straight through to my shop. I think there might be a link to my shop on underneath as well. I usually try and do that. And just go to my shop and browse and have a look. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Thanks, bye.